What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Johnson. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, we are officially on the road to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania, I think, is 7 weeks from now, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something right there. That was totally accidental. I didn't. I can't escape it. I can't escape the brain rot. Why me? Why? I don't even want to make the video anymore. But in today's video, we are going to do my official WrestleMania match card predictions. I uploaded a video a couple weeks ago that was how I would book the WrestleMania card and how I would fix the WrestleMania card. That was what I would do. This video is going to be what I think WWE is going to do. Anyway, if you like this video and more WWE content like it, be sure to give me a subscribe, tap the little bell for notifications because I am here every single week with brand new wrestling content. I'm actually now uploading 2 videos a week as opposed to 1, sometimes 3 if there's a PLE going on or something. The videos are going to be coming hot and heavy, so be sure to subscribe. Anyway, let's get into the video. Let's start things off here by talking about the matches that are already confirmed for the show. First of all, we have CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was the first match properly announced for WrestleMania this year, and they've had some pretty heated exchanges on Monday Night Raw already. So I'm interested to see where this feud goes from here. Let's talk about another match, though, that was actually just recently announced. It is Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Championship. Obviously, this was supposed to be Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Bianca Belair couldn't get back in time, so I guess you got to go with your second biggest star, the second biggest option, and go with Rhea Ripley. If you guys saw what I would do, I said a triple threat match with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, but I guess this works too. My only issue with this match is I didn't think there was a lot of story to tell. I didn't like Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley have never really interacted. They don't really have any history. There's not a lot of story you can pull from this. And WWE's proving my point with every breath, really, because now Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley have gone on this shoot thing on social media where they're making this whole thing a shoot. And I know a lot of reports came out saying like, oh no, it's legitimately a shoot. Like they wouldn't have brought up creative if it was a work. I still think they're working us, man. If you ask me, here's what I think happened. I'm thinking they realize there's not a lot of story to tell. They want to get some intrigue. They want to get some heat on the match. So they make it feel like they're shooting on each other and they legit hate each other. Because legit heat often sells a match. I mean, hell, WWE pulled off a Seth Rollins injury that was worked as real, so I wouldn't put this past them. I mean, we're talking about the same company that decided to do Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes, turning heel off camera with 0 WWE cameras present, hoping the fans would catch it on their own phones. We're dealing with a creative team who is not afraid to think outside the box, and I wouldn't be shocked if WWE thought that this was the best way to go to gain intrigue for the match. Speaking of our women's championship matches, we have one on the other side on Monday Night Raw. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. This match has recently been announced as well, right before the Elimination Chamber. Unlike Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, they have a pretty good story going on right now. I've really enjoyed the segments they've had. I've really enjoyed the promos they've cut on each other. This match is getting really personal, and I like it. This could turn out to be one of the better feuds of WrestleMania once it's all said and done. But let's get into some of the other bigger matches that I think will be announced that aren't announced yet for the show that I think are basically just penciled in. And we're going to start with Rey Mysterio versus Gunther. I predicted this match to happen. A lot of people have been predicting this to happen for a long time. I do think it's Gunther's best bet going into WrestleMania if he's not going to answer Brock Lesnar's open challenge, which I don't think he will. I'll get to that later as to who I think is going to do that. But I think the next biggest thing he can do, obviously he can't go for a world title. So I think retiring another legend is the best way for Gunther to go here. And retiring a legend at WrestleMania, of all places, I think would be a great next step for the career killer character. I think the stuff they're doing right now with Dragon Lee is the precursor to this match with Rey Mysterio that's going to happen. Rey hasn't been introduced into this story yet, but I do think it's a matter of time. The next match that isn't properly announced that I think is on its way is AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think the blow-off match is inevitable between these two. They did announce recently on Raw that there's going to be a gauntlet match for the #1 contendership for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think this is just them getting the most use out of AJ Lee that they can while they have her. I think they're going to have her defend the title once or twice on the road to WrestleMania, which I think is a pretty good idea. So I think whoever wins that gauntlet match is just going to end up challenging her on Raw. I don't think that's going to be her WrestleMania opponent. I could even see the match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship being ended in a DQ with Becky Lynch returning to attack AJ Lee to set up this final match. And I think this match is going to be some kind of stipulation match, whether it be last woman standing, whether it be, no holds barred, a street fight, whatever the heck it is. I think it's going to be some kind of stipulation match. On to the next one. Let's talk about a feud that is currently building on TV that I think WWE is going to put on WrestleMania because they can't help themselves. And it is the El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. And I think it's going to be a mask versus mask match. I mean, you can't walk around with two El Grande Americanos forever. You gotta pick one. So I think they're going to do a big WrestleMania match where one of them is going to lose the gimmick. This match is for the gimmick of El Grande Americano. Not that I'm getting into predicting here, because that's going to be a whole separate video, but I do predict that Ludwig is probably going to win this match. I mean, he's been the better El Grande Americano. I mean, he just took this character that was a complete joke and turned it into something legitimate, turned it into something that's actually over, and I think fits Ludwig really well. Chad Gable, I think, will be just fine without the El Grande Americano gimmick. But, gimmick aside, I just hope if this match happens that they let these two actually work, because let's throw kayfabe out the window for a little bit. Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser one-on-one, these two could cook. Just let these two cook and put on a great match. If they do that, I am more than fine with this being on the WrestleMania card. Let's talk about the WWE Championship match. Now, tonight, as of the recording of this video, is Friday Night SmackDown, where Drew McIntyre is going to defend his WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. And this right here will dictate the direction for WrestleMania. I guarantee you, coming out of tonight's episode of SmackDown, we will know what our WWE Championship match is going to be. So I'm going to give you my official prediction, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you right now kind of the different routes I see this going. And then by the time you're watching this, you'll be able to see if I'm right or wrong, because obviously this is going to go live after SmackDown has already aired. So I might be editing this being like, oh man, I was completely off here. So a couple ways I can see this going. If Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship tonight, I could see this going crazy into a fatal four-way match. I could see it being Drew versus Cody versus Randy versus Fatu at WrestleMania, which is the match that I booked in the How I Would Fix WrestleMania. But the problem with that is I didn't think that this match, this one-on-one between Cody and Drew, necessarily needs to happen if they're just going to end up building a four-way. I think what Drew did to Cody in the chamber is enough to warrant Cody's involvement in the title match without this championship match happening or having to happen. The alternative, of course, is Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Championship back, which is actually what I went with for this predictions video. I think WWE is just going to do a hard reset, and I think we're doing Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton one-on-one at WrestleMania. I mean, at this point, you kind of have to. I think Drew McIntyre holding the championship is really crippling this whole situation. And I don't mean to say that Drew McIntyre is a bad WWE champion, because I don't think he is. I think this championship run is just incredibly ill-timed. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes is the match that they have been subtly building to for years and years and years at this point. They cannot allow Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton to become like a Rock Roman match, where it's this match that they keep building to and teasing that just never happens because they always go with something else. I think they just need to pull the trigger, and I think if they're doing this WWE Championship match, I think there's no other reason to do it besides if you're pulling the trigger on Cody winning the title. And if Cody wins the title back, could you still technically do a fatal 4-way match for the title? I think you could, if with Cody still the champion. I just don't see why WWE would do it with Cody as the champion. If they're going to do a 4-way, I would have just kept the title on Drew. But alternatively, let's talk about Drew McIntyre. I think that they're going to end up doing Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in a singles match at WrestleMania. I think if Cody Randy happens, I think instead of doing a 4-way, I think we just split it up into these 2 singles matches. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre have this blood feud going on right now that I think they need to pay off in a singles environment. I mean, hell, for weeks, Jacob Fatu has been saying he wants to get his hands on Drew McIntyre. He wants to fight Drew McIntyre. And Nick Aldis kept saying, like, don't worry, you will get your shot. You will get your match with Drew McIntyre. I think that's all leading to a big WrestleMania match between the two. You might even have Jacob Fatu cost Drew McIntyre the title tonight on SmackDown and then go into this huge rivalry match between the two. So that's the direction I think they're going to go. I think they're going to go 2 separate singles matches instead of one big fatal 4-way, but I guess we'll find out tonight. Moving on, let's talk about the Women's United States Championship. I have a triple threat match between Julia defending the title against Io Sky and Tiffany Stratton. You could do a one-on-one match between Io and Julia. I think that's what a lot of people are speculating because they took that match off SmackDown, so they were clearly saving it for something. And a lot of people are saying, like, oh, they are saving it for Mania. I think you throw Tiffany Stratton in here, too. I think the stuff with Kiana James at Elimination Chamber could be maybe a catalyst to bring Tiffany Stratton into this thing. I definitely think Tiffany Stratton should have a match at WrestleMania. And I think if you have 2 top stars fighting for this Women's U.S. Championship, I genuinely believe that this could fix the U.S. title division. Like, it's one thing to have Io going after it and doing a one-on-one Io-Julia match, but if you have 2 bona fide former world champions who both want this title and who are both coming out of this title, and you make it just as star-studded of a match as it could be, I think we're in for a real treat. I genuinely think the triple threat match is the way to go, not to mention with all 3 women in this match would utterly cook. This would be a fantastic match. And you could crown a new champion here if you did this. But honestly, I think it would do Julia a lot of favors if she retained over both these women. Now, remember how I said at the beginning of this video that I'm not going to like all of these predictions, but this is what I just think WWE is going to do? This is the prime example of that. Total disclaimer, I would hate if this ended up happening. But at this point, as you guys saw on Raw, Dominic dropped the Intercontinental Championship. And with that went my hopes of Dominic and Finn happening at WrestleMania. If you guys saw my How I Would Book WrestleMania video, I said that Finn versus Dom is a match that just needs to happen. They've been building this for way too freaking long, and they just need to do the match. Knowing WWE, I don't think they're going to do it. I think once again, they are going to screw us over. I think once again, they are going to push the match forward. They don't know when they're going to put it on, but it's not going to be at WrestleMania. I think they're going to do Dominic Mysterio versus Danhausen. You have, Danhausen just put a curse on Dominic Mysterio. I can see that turning into a full-fledged storyline. There's reports coming out that Danhausen has pleasantly surprised executives with like his merch sales and with his segment on Raw. So I could definitely see WWE pivoting and putting him in the Finn Balor spot at WrestleMania. I don't want this to happen. I just really want to see Finn Balor versus Dominic. I want it so bad, but I don't think WWE is going to give it to us. I don't know what they have against this match, but this match at this point, I think is just never going to happen. Now, for this next one, you can kind of ignore the graphic because I did screw up a little bit. But I think for the women's tag team titles, we're going to end up getting Charlexa against the Bella Twins. Now, when I say I messed up the graphic, I don't think the Bella Twins are walking in as women's tag team champions. I think I could much easier see Charlexa winning them before then. And I know that Lash Legend and Nia Jax just won the women's tag team championships, but I think they're going to end up being transitional champs. Like, I genuinely believe that the Bella Twins are going to be fighting for the tag titles at WrestleMania. I see really no other path forward. And I think if you do that, you want to make it as star-studded of a match as you can. And I don't think Lash Legend and Nia Jax are at that point in time yet. Also, you can't not have Charlotte and Alexa on the card. So, like, I think that this match works perfectly. I think you can have Charlexa win the tag team titles back on SmackDown ahead of WrestleMania and have the Bella Twins come out and challenge them. Or hell, maybe the Bella Twins do return before WrestleMania. They face off against Lash Legend and Nia Jax and they win the titles, and then Charlexa goes after them at WrestleMania. A lot of people are predicting a big multi-team match for the women's tag team titles. I don't think WWE is going to go there. I mean, if there was ever a time to do it, they would have done it last year with the WWE tag team titles at WrestleMania, but they didn't do that either. So I don't think they're going to be doing this again. I wouldn't be totally opposed to a multi-team like ladder match like TLC or something like that. I just don't think WWE is going to pull it off. Speaking of tag team titles, let's talk about the World Tag Team Championships. I have the Usos taking on the Vision in Logan Paul and Austin Theory. I mean, this feud has already started to build on Monday Night Raw. I think this is the precursor. I mean, if you look at the Raw tag team division, there's absolutely nothing else set up for the Usos right now, and I don't think they're going to have Jey Uso miss WrestleMania, or Logan Paul for that matter. I think those are the two stars that they just wouldn't want to miss WrestleMania. And they're all feuding with each other right now. So, like, there's really no other match you can do besides making this tag team title match. And I wouldn't be opposed to it either. Like, this seems like a good tag team title match that I would want to see at WrestleMania. So I'm not totally opposed to it. We're going to get back to talking about the Vision later, but let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship. On Monday Night Raw, Penta just became the new IC champion, and I think it threw everything up in the air. What is WWE going to do with the IC title at Mania, if anything? I do think there's a good to fair chance that honestly it's left off the card. I could be totally honest and say that. I could see them maybe not building anything for Penta going into WrestleMania. That's not what I predicted, but I do think there's a chance that WWE, in all the chaos that's happening right now and the changes, just leaves Penta off the card because they have nothing for him. But the match I selected is not the match I want. I think it would be a good match, but the superstar I have Penta going up against, I think myself and a lot of other people want to see something else. I think it's going to happen. I think we're getting Penta versus Oba Femi for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I mean, I could see them wanting to put Oba on the card. I don't think Oba and Brock is going to happen, and I'll explain that next. I think you guys already see where I'm going with this. But with everything and all the chaos going on and all the changes happening, I don't see Oba and Brock lining up at this point in time. And I still would want Oba to be in a big spot, as I would hope WWE would as well. And I think fighting for a title would be a good place for Oba to be at WrestleMania. And if Oba won the Intercontinental Championship, give him a Gunther-style reign where he just holds that thing for like 600 plus days. I think that would be a great move for Oba Femi. I kind of already alluded to it, so let's talk about the final match that I have predicted. I think we're doing Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Here's my thought process. I think WWE, the whole Vision thing has just totally screwed up Monday Night Raw right now and totally screwed up the WrestleMania direction. I mean, you had Brock Lesnar announce this open challenge on the same night that Bronson Reed got injured in his Elimination Chamber qualifying match. So I genuinely believe before Elimination Chamber, the plan was to do Brock and Oba, considering they teased this open challenge. And we were probably going to end up doing Seth versus Bronson Reed. But I think WWE are going to have to throw the open challenge thing out the window and change direction for Brock, because now all original members of the Vision are out of WrestleMania. And Seth just recently attacked Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw, so I could see Brock Lesnar stepping in to defend his I don't even know, his friend, I guess you can call him, because he's not really his manager anymore, in Paul Heyman. And I think we run Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. I think honestly that's the biggest match you can run for Seth Rollins right now, because I don't see any other match for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania at this point. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, I think, are both going to be busy in the tag team division. You pull one of them in to face Seth Rollins, that's great, but now you don't have anything for the Usos. You see the problem that WWE has here? This is why I don't think Oba and Brock is on the table anymore, unfortunately. I think it very well could have been on the table if not for this Bronson Reed injury. This hurts my heart so much. I hate it so much. I don't want this. I want to see Oba versus Brock. But at this point, I think it's off the table, because what else do you do with Seth Rollins? Who else is there for Seth Rollins to face right now? There's nobody for Seth Rollins to face, unless Paul Heyman's going to step in the ring and we do Seth Rollins versus Paul Heyman. But I highly doubt that that's going to happen. Anyway, guys, that is my WrestleMania match card predictions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what matches you predict is going to happen at WrestleMania, and I'll see you in the next video.